I'll give you some tips which are totally experiential based. The second tip that I'd like to give you here is you need to reduce the r, t, and d sounds in English. The r at the end of a word is almost every time silent. And that's the reason it's not computer but computer. It's not father but father. Mother, mother. Burger, burger. So you understand the sound of r is very subtle. The same applies with t and d. T and d, when they come at the end of any word, are called as held sounds. That means the sound is very subtle. Where in India, we have a lot of stress that we use in these particular sounds. So, for example, if I say a word like wanted, instead of saying wanted, I would say wanted, right? Instead of saying caught, I would say caught. Instead of saying told, I would say told. So in English, the t and d sounds are called as plosive sounds. That means there is a release of some air while we say this sound. So when I say teacher, all right, teacher, instead of saying teacher, you find the difference? So r, t, and d need to be subtle sounds in English. Tip number 3. Be careful about not getting your mother tongue influence in the English language. For instance, in Marathi, we have the sound p, which is not at all there in the English language. For instance, if we use a word like phone, so most of the times if we have studied in a vernacular medium, we might mix up the p and the f and the p sound and pronounce this word as pone. Yeah, so pone, finish, father. So the p sound which is there in Marathi is not available in English, and that's called as mother tongue influence. A South Indian would have a tendency to stretch the sound at the end of every word. So they'll say I, my, instead of I and my. Or a North Indian would pronounce a word like school as school. You just add that is before school. So this is the mother tongue influence that we tend to get in the English language while speaking, which we should totally avoid. Tip number 4. There's something which is called as a lisp in English. Now this lisp area is the way you make your mouth movements to pronounce a particular word. And there are these sounds which are correlated and very closely related, and we tend to mix them up when they are together. For instance, s and sh, ch and z, p and p. So social is very common, I'm very sure. So try and say this word social, social, social. Try and say this word as fast as you can. You'll see that there's a very slight difference between these two sounds, and we tend to mix them up at times. Or you might find some people saying sal instead of shall. Yeah. So these are certain sounds which are lisp areas and which need to be worked upon by the easiest way, as you all might be knowing, is by using tongue twisters. A tongue twister like she sells seashells at the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashore shells. A tongue twister like this would go a long way in helping you overcome the lisp area, if any. And finally, the fifth tip. The fifth tip that I would like to give you here is very, very crucial, and not many people realize that they are making a mistake here. It's a very common error, particularly again with vernacular medium students. When one particular word in English is pronounced the short way as well as the long way, when the word is same, which is called as a tense sound, or tense sound, or the lax sound. So lax is the short form, tense is the long form. It, eat, sit, seat, hill, heel, Pill, peel. Yeah. Pen, pain. So you see, the only difference in these homophones is the lax and the tense part, short and the long part. So if I say a very common sentence that I have heard in interviews also, when the candidate comes and say, my name is Sarika. So my name is Sarika would be my name is Sarika. Can you please give me the pain? So instead of pen, you say pain. So there's a difference, and this is a very slight but very confusing, because the whole meaning changes if you stress on the unnecessary sound. So these are a few tips from my side. There's a lot that can be done and a lot can be learned. But however, I feel for this particular session, this should be more than enough. I'd be glad to know about your queries, any kind of suggestions, doubts, anything that is that you'd like to share with me is welcome in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening to me.